Is prednisone a pain medication? Really good question, because is it prescribed for pain or not? Here's a specific question I received from a prednisone warrior. Mike says, I just thought of something that my rheumatologist said to me once. She asked me if I needed anything for pain. I told her Actemra was controlling my pain. She said, Actemra and prednisone are not pain medications. They only control the inflammation. What is your opinion about that? I was confused because I thought prednisone was a pain medication too. So this is a really important question because it goes back to what is pain and what is a pain medication, maybe what the doctor considers a pain medication and what he considers a pain medication. Let me clear up this very confusing use of terms so that we can all get on the same page. So from the rheumatologist's perspective, what I'm anticipating she meant is that by pain medication, she means an opioid, a drug that affects the opioid receptors. Something like heroin is the street version, or hydrocodone or oxycodone or hydromorphone. Those are all opioid medications that go into the opioid receptor and cause pain relief. They also can cause a little bit of euphoria that can be addicting, and they can cause constipation. And so she's right. Prednisone is not an opioid. I totally agree with that. Neither is Actemra. But I'm assuming that this person goes to a rheumatologist and is taking Actemra and prednisone for something like rheumatoid arthritis. And if you have rheumatoid arthritis, you'll know that it's not just like debilitating disease. It's a painful condition. And the pain of the joints being swollen is legitimate pain that opioids doesn't really usually help much with. That's why people need prednisone. And so is that pain or is that not pain? Well, there's actually lots of types of pain. There's like pain from heat. There's pain from touch. There's pain from things being broken. There's lots of ways of defining pain. And so I'd like to broaden from what the doctor was saying, what pain would be. She said, they're not pain medications. They only control the inflammation. Well, in rheumatoid arthritis, the inflammation causes the pain. So when you control the inflammation, it controls the pain. I see Mike's logical sequence and I agree with it. I agree that when Actemra and prednisone are anti-inflammatories, well, specifically prednisone is an anti-inflammatory, it is actually turning off the signals of inflammation so that you don't experience pain. So it's not curing the source of the inflammation. Prednisone doesn't do that. It's just killing the messenger, really. Prednisone is going to wherever there's that inflammatory signal and it's stopping it. Normally you have something painful, like an inflamed joint, and then it will send out these signals, these messengers, these little molecules that will be sent out throughout the body. And then one will tell one thing, another tell another thing, and it's a cascade of messengers going from one cell, one hormonal messenger to another until the message is received by the final product of that inflammation cascade. And prednisone stops it somewhere in the middle of many different signals, many different cascades. Not only that, it actually helps. So there's the pro-inflammatory and the anti-inflammatory, two things. Prednisone helps turn down the pro-inflammatory things and turns up the anti-inflammatory signals in your body. It's working in two ways. And so if the inflammation on your joint leads to pain, and prednisone is turning off the signals that lead to feeling pain and turning up the signals that help you cope with the pain, I agree, it's kind of a pain medication, but it's not an addictive opioid, right? Because I personally consider ibuprofen and Tylenol, acetaminophen, to be pain medications. They are often recommended by pain doctors to help with cope with pain. They're not addictive opioids, but they are pain medications. Acetaminophen is not, but ibuprofen is an anti-inflammatory medication, and it is a non-steroidal anti-inflammatory medication, meaning it is not prednisone, but it helps with inflammation. So I think that prednisone is a pain medication, but not an opioid. Does that clear up the confusion? So essentially, if your rheumatologist asks and says, "Do you need anything for pain?" I think his answer was correct, that my pain is controlled by the treatments you're giving me. So just say thank you. And I don't need a referral to pain management. I don't need opioids. I am content. And if you're wondering if I have any other tips I can share with you about prednisone, I do. I have my free prednisone checklist, and you can just check off the things in there to make sure you're doing everything you can to avoid the pain, not just of your condition, but of the side effects of prednisone. Because prednisone can cause so much pain and agony from up to 150 side effects. So you get my prednisone checklist and you know you're doing everything you can to prevent complications from taking prednisone. It's got the top 15 side effects and exactly what you can do about it. It's based on evidence published in scientific literature. So just click the link to download my prednisone checklist now. Signing off is Dr. Megan, your prednisone pharmacist.